Hello there, this is David, and this is YEA Concerts, and we're getting ready to get started. Deanna's going to be coming up on the stage here. Hope you enjoy the music.
Praise God. My name is Dina O'Hara, and something y'all might not know about me is I am actually a clown school dropout. It's true, I'm also an only child, so when I ran away to join the circus, I shattered my parents' only hope for humanity. And at that point, they were hoping they had more kids other than just me. I did actually fail clown school. Apparently, dyslexic people shouldn't be allowed to juggle. So not only did I not get to go to college right away, I failed juggling. Everybody else was given bigger and better items to work with to juggle, like bowling pins and things like that. My instructor handed me steel flags and said, "Here, you can't hurt anybody with these." Hey, well, turn on your phone. You know, if I hadn't gotten so close to the flamethrower, it would have been okay, but that ended my career in clowning. I did get to go to business college, worked in telecommunications for about 10 years. One of the things was I was the only female on the crew. So it was me and a bunch of oil rig guys. Now, I'm not saying they were, oh, well, okay, their heads hit the ceiling and their knuckles struck the floor. You know, my first day on the job, they didn't want a girl. I mean, I was 22 years old. They did not want a girl on the ship. So the first thing they did is the manager handed me my tools. It was a hammer and a screwdriver. It said, "Here, go out and work." And so I looked at the tools. I looked at the keeper of the tools, which was this nice, beautiful cabinet. Walked over with my hammer, took the screwdriver, and busted the lock. And there we go. We got working. You know, women have their ways. We got it. Got the job done. The guys did try to scare me off a few times. One of the times they took me down to Wacker Drive in Chicago to pick up some tools and pick up some equipment. And they thought this would be really cute. Let's scare the new girl. So they sent me down to the basement to pick up some stuff that was down there. As soon as I get down there, and the floor's moving. You ever guys been in a sub-basement anywhere? Moving floors is bad. You're from Manhattan, you know. You know, I didn't know that. I'm from Rattlesnake Gulch, New York. Moving floors didn't, well, that meant snakes where I was from, but we get to Chicago, so they send me down there. The minute I flip on the light, there are rats bigger than my dogs, you guys, running everywhere.
Woo.
Now, these big dudes are nothing for a little bitty scared female. I knocked them down off the stairs, ran up, locked myself into the van, and wouldn't let them back in. You know, we rode the elevator. They're screaming at me. These men are crying. There are rats out here. And I'm like, you're telling me? You know? But I felt bad because I did that. I kind of hurt them. So I went upstairs. So I went home, and I made them a batch of my special brownies. They were based with X-Lax. Yeah, but we didn't have any problems after that, all right? So how are you guys doing tonight? Are you having fun? Yeah? Yeah? Well, I got to hear some of the practice. You guys are awesome. You guys are really cute. So adorable. I love it. I am going to share just one brief story with you guys, and then I'm going to turn it over. We've got some awesome talent coming up this afternoon. How old are you, girls? Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, 16, 12. Wow. Okay, that is cool. You guys, high school rocks. I loved it. Well, okay, no, I didn't. That's a lie. But I think it's awesome that you guys are in high school. You know, when I was in high school, I was kind of interested in other things other than academics. I was interested in, like, being popular. That was really cool to me back then. You know, I grew up in the 80s, so you'll have to forgive me. You know, my wardrobe looked like Madonna and Cyndi Lauper threw up. I had kind of experience this shit. I know that there's the 80s. I wanted to be a valley girl. When I wasn't wanting to go to clown college, I had this like great, brilliant idea that I was going to marry my boyfriend. Only I forgot to tell him. And he got this job working for Walt Disney. Oh, wow, good sound. We are live. So he got this job working for Walt Disney, and I got a letter back. And it was Brooke Shields this, Brooke Shields that. Do you guys know who she is? Never heard of her? She's gorgeous, right? He dumped me for a chance to go out with her. I was so flashed. I mean, okay, now it's one thing to get dumped for something. Okay, so, yeah, that's kind of cool. You know, they got to dump you as Brooke. But, you know, he never got past her mother, which made me feel really good. You know, unfortunately, this time it still made me feel really bad because now I've already ran away from college. I have to go to business college. And my boyfriend dumped me. I thought that was horrible. And I'm laying in the middle of the living floor full of self-pity, Haagen-Dazs ice cream. You know, and we weren't a church family, so I didn't exactly belong to a church. But I did get to go to a lot of outreach events, and so what they do is every time I went to outreach, they give me a Bible and go, God loves you, and keep going. You know, and I don't mean that pathetic, but that's just kind of how it was. And so I'm sitting there in the middle of the living room floor, and my neighbors told me, you know, the Bible works for everything. And it didn't help me with my algebra, but, you know, figure God and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to math, and that's okay. But I'm sitting there and I'm feeling sorry for myself, and it's like, okay, God, if you're real, what do I do? What do I do? My life is ruined. And I start flipping through the Bible, right? And I land on this passage, and it says, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Like, oh, yeah, now we're talking. I went to the mall, and I bought myself the best fishing wardrobe minimum wage could buy. You know, little black dress, red lipstick, fishnet stockings. You know, and I packed up my little suitcase, and I moved to Chicago, where I participated in the catch and release program for the next several years. You know, not to confuse you guys with the prison release program. That's something entirely different, okay? Okay, no, if we're counting that guy in front of the Sears Tower, no, it's really not that different. But an amazing thing had started to happen in there while I was working in Chicago, while I was dealing with all of these guys who were trying to scare me and chase me off. There was this really strange dude I was working with. You know, his computer would break, I'd fix it, and it'd break again because he kept wanting to meet me. And finally, he kept asking me out, and I kept turning him down. And finally, he told me, I play guitar in a rock band. Want to come see me play this weekend? Well, you know, I married him the next day. I had No way, I'm kidding. That's a joke. But I did agree to go out with him, right? And so here we are, and we've gone out on a date, and he calls me up, and he tells me he wants to take me to church on our next date. I wasn't entirely sure what he meant by that, and I dressed for the wrong, anyway. And he took me to church. For real. I didn't expect that. Why was I popular? You know? I was also shaken like a leaf, absolutely terrified. Because that wasn't where I was thinking we were going. And I did get to meet the pastor, and it was a very traditional church. He was wearing a dress that was longer than mine. You know, I thought that was just wow. And I also got to meet the Women's Missionary League. In this particular church in Chicago, they have what they call Women's Miseries. Oh, no, wait, Women's Ministries. That's right, that's what it was called. Okay. And they were really curious. I mean, I don't know what gave it away that I was new. You know, the fact that I was shaking, the fact that my skirt was, and what it was. They introduced themselves to me, and I asked them what they did. And they called themselves the Church Basement Ladies.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, right? You know, I'm 23 years old meeting these ladies, and I'm like, Church Basement Ladies? I'm like, you lock your women in the basement? Like, this is scary. Who are you? And so I asked them what they did. And they told me that they sew quilts. I was 23. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they also said, and we cook supper for Jesus. I did not know what that meant. I looked at them. I looked at him. I looked at them. And finally I'm like, okay, look, I might not have been raised in the church, but I know it's been at least 2,000 years since Jesus walked this earth. So either you ladies are pulling my leg or you have held up remarkably well. God is real. 23 years ago, I walked into church for the very first time. I'd actually heard speakers. I'd actually started my life to Christ when I was 13 years old because of an actress who'd been invited to the church. But also in my neighborhood, our churches were something you were born into. They weren't exactly something that was friendly to newcomers. So the fact that you guys are doing this is amazing. You know, God is real. It took him a few years he'd already had my mate picked up for me. He already had my church picked up for me. He already knew my name. You know, Psalm 119 says, I lost that one. Anyway, it says, I have formed you from the beginning of time. I formed you in your mother's womb. He knew my name. He knew our story. He knows your story. He knows yours. You know, he is definitely real. So for anybody who can go from shaking like a leaf hiding in the back of the church to standing up here and getting to proclaim the gospel of Christ. God is real. God is real. And in that, and I would like to introduce our first act. So, I lost my phone.
Krista Nicole Taylor.
Oh, Krista Nicole Taylor is coming up next. And I want you guys to give it up for her really big, please. I